So when you're doing coin divination, do you use even numbers or odd number coins? I feel like it doesn't really matter. It's up to the practitioner, right? If you use even number of coins, that's the more of the traditional route than using odd number of coins. And typically that's just because you have the option of the spirit saying maybe. And sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's not so great depending on the type of person you are. If you're someone who likes straightforward answers, you want to go to odd number of coins, because getting kind of iffy ass answers, that's going to irritate you. But just know that if you're using odd number of coins all the time, and let's say, for example, you flip a coin and you throw your coins and then you get yes today. In 2 weeks, that same yes might become a no, because you don't have the even numbers. So like, let's say, for example, if you use the even number of coins and you tossed it today 3 times and you got a predominant yes. So that meant like the first toss was a yes, the second toss was a maybe, and the third toss was a yes. That means that it's yes, but it's probably going to be a prolonged period before that thing locks in, because it's not yet fully locked in. It's the most likely thing, but the situation is not yet decided. But more than likely, it's still going to be a yes, right? If you flip it and you get yes, maybe, no, then you can interpret that as it's not solidified in stone on any timeline yet, because the locked in timeline that needs to be operated for the result that you're looking for or asking about has yet to be fabricated. So what that means is, usually when there's a lot of people involved in a given decision, 1, 2, 2, 1 on the clock, when it's a lot of people given into one decision, not everybody decides at the same time. Okay. And because they don't decide at the same time, the probability is hard to look at, especially when you're looking further out, especially if it's a pivot point. So when you're looking at pivot points on a timeline, those are points at which people cross each other, they interact, and if someone was going straight, they may change trajectory and go right. Or somebody may change trajectory and go left, right? It's a pivot point, so it's where you can pivot on your path. And if you're asking questions about a pivot point, it may not be your pivot point. You may continue to go straight through this onto your path, but people that you might be interacting with in a given situation, that might initiate a pivot point for them in that moment. And because of that, they hold a certain spiritual influence over how the thing plays out, right? So depending on how many people intersect into this pivot point, that decides the high likely probability of how it will go. So it's easier for you to interject with your intention into situations like that where it hasn't been fully locked in. And with things that are just kind of, it could be like a no, maybe no. That's the same thing as a yes, maybe yes. But if you get the middle ground or the 1, 2, and 3, it's time for you to just stop asking. It's time for you to stop asking. Take some time, come back when you have mental clarity. Sometimes when you ask too much, the spirits just be kind of like, maybe. Especially if they told you no a bunch of times, or they told you yes a bunch of times, and that's not the answer that you wanted. You'll start getting maybe, just so that you'll stop asking. Okay. I hope that this helped. If you have some more questions, put them in the comments. I feel like this kind of thing is very similar to like when you use pendulum, and pendulum be like yes, no, maybe. And, it just is what it is. Sometimes the spirit is just like, stop asking me stupid questions I already told you to answer. Sometimes the spirit is like, I already told you, so why are you asking me again? Oh, okay, this is the outcome that you want, but you're not getting it? Okay. Okay, maybe. That's the best you're going to get, because I'm not going to tell you a lie. You know what I'm saying? All right. Bye.